Good morning, everyone. This is Christian Duke from ProgressiveActivist.com. I'm joined by fellow Bernie Sanders delegate Janice Thomasson. We are here at the Standing Rock Reservation overlooking the camp, overlooking where the pipelines are. Janice, how are you this morning?
I'm awesome.
Excellent. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. You are part Native American,
Yes.
and so I'm sure that a lot of this for you is connecting with your people and connecting with your customs. What did you think of the various ceremonies that you saw at the, I believe it's the, Sacred Stone, Red Warrior, and Rosebud camps?
Humbled and deeply honored that they would even allow me to be there to watch and to worship with them. It was really great. I would say this, I did not realize I had any Native American. You always think maybe you do, but till I got into one of the genealogy apps about a year ago, it jumped out at me 5 generations back. We're Porch Creek, and in fact my 5 times great-grandfather was a chief down in southeast Alabama, and he was taken away totally because he was a troublemaker from his tribe, and as far as we know, he died in desolation in a isolated cell down in Florida. So as of about a year ago, I started trying to find this, but this is, if you can come, do, and if you have a Native American or not, it doesn't matter. There aren't a lot of non-natives here, is what I was surprised as I talked to the native veterans yesterday. I was most surprised. Incredibly bright, loyal men who are watching everything. Mm-hmm. And those are important words. They are watching everything.
Absolutely.
They're totally aware of what the pipeline executive strategy is. And I could say so much more, but I won't.
So when you park in the camp, one of the first things that you see is the school.
Right.
And a lot of people at home need to understand that many of the folks here are for extended periods of time, indefinite periods of time. They bring their little ones with them, and sometimes some of the kids are even high school age and they have to go to school. They need teachers, and you brought books and
I brought books for the children, and I gave them a black Bluetooth speaker system that's very powerful.
Yeah.
Not just a cheap one, and that they can use those for their studies. Actually, the children in the camp that are in that school right now, there are about 15 of them, ranging in age from about 6 until about 15, and they have 2 teachers, but they have no high school teachers. They're also talking about having GED classes, which, if any of you, if that's your thing, and your high school teachers that are retired, they could use you for any length of time. They just eager for assistance, and they love new ideas.
Absolutely. No, and I just chuckled a second when you said high school teachers, because I have a feeling that our good friend Carol might be out here in the winter teaching. Maybe. It's very possible. Now, you're also someone that's had the privilege or the awkward, however you want to look at it, of going through the National Guard checkpoint about 40 some odd miles from here both times. Once I believe you went through and there was really no incident, everything was great. The second time
you never had an incident.
But I believe you made a video where you asked the National Guardsman, what were you looking for, and he said nothing.
He did.
Explain that whole stop if you can.
Yeah, and they always ask the same questions. They say, have you been down here before? And you say yes or no. If you say no, they'll say, well, are you aware there is a lot of foot traffic, and are you aware of what is going on? We always said yes because we tell the truth, and they just, when they hear that you know what's going on, they don't say any more.
Yeah, they're very polite.
They're very polite.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then they did. I said, but what is going on? And they said, oh, there's a lot of foot traffic just down the road, a lot of people walking. Nothing negative, so
yeah.
I wouldn't say that. But the second time when we left the area to go up to Bismarck, we were stopped on the way out. On the way out, which is a little odd.
Yeah.
And they stopped the van, rolled down the windows. Hi, how you doing? Fine, we're awesome. Okay, and then he went back, and he was a National Guard officer with a hot sidearm.
And it was a sidearm, not a taser.
I do not know that for sure.
Okay, because a lot of folks are saying they have sidearms now, but you know.
Another person that was with me said she knew it was a sidearm. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Okay, sure.
So he went around. I was on the passenger side. We rolled down the window, but our van is so long we could not see how far back he went.
Yeah.
I am sure he surely photographed our license plate. But the funny thing is, as we were sitting with the Native American veterans yesterday, they said, "Oh yeah, they're taking pictures of your license. They're putting that in your FBI file." So they're quite aware of what is going on. They don't exactly think it's humorous, but every treaty that we Americans have ever started with the natives has in some way been dishonored. So they're very jaded about things like the National Guard. But the funny thing is, some of their very own are in the National Guard. And the other thing is, that particular National Guard unit is to be deployed to Afghanistan in 30 days.
Yeah, Jim was telling me that yesterday, yeah.
So every day that they are here is taken away from training that they need.
Let me ask you something. I didn't tell you to ask you this, and I'm just curious what you think. In a hypothetical situation, if we saw a repeat of what we heard about with the dogs and the macing and just aggressive tactics of this private security company, if the National Guard were in the vicinity, do you think they would intervene to protect the people, back up to security, or just watch? I mean, if you had to say, I mean, you have no way of knowing what will happen, but if you had, what does your gut tell you?
I would not say anything.
Okay. All right. Well, any message for the folks at home in Kentucky, and also any message for folks at home that can't get here but that want to help throughout social media?
Well, there is an Amazon, within Amazon, the little school has a wish list.
Awesome.
And I think it's called Sacred Stone Wish List. Something like
it can be found, yeah.
And the teachers have put things that they would love to have on there, so it would be wise to go into that and see. And I've lost my sunglasses. But
it's real life out here, but yeah, for sure. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.